Hi there and welcome back to Japan, and it's time for Akatsukino by, I pronounced that really bad, Akatsukino, I think that was a bit better, by WAGAKKI Band, probably also pronouncing that wrong. I think I've done 5 WAGAKKI Band videos now, and as you guys know, this is actually, there's lots of bands who I've been really glad to listen to on this channel. I would say this is the one that scores most personal bias for me. I'm just really into that sound. I'm into the fact that they're creative with their songs. They seem to, even though they're already doing a mixture of hard rock and Japanese sounding instruments, two things that I love and I do believe fuse well together even before I heard this band. Even despite that, I love the fact they even throw in more different things. Like there was that song Synchronicity where they had jazz. The most recent one I listened to, I'm really bad at remembering song names and people names and all that kind of thing. The most recent one I listened to was much more stripped down and you could hear the Japanese instruments more, but kept that really heavy beat. They've had punky songs. They kind of had everything. I'm just loving this band. It appeals to all the things that I personally like in music. So I'm biased, which means that I'm particularly critical of them. I really look for the things to comment on and start discussions on in WAGAKKI Band songs because I know that they are biasing me. They're playing to what I like. It's all about me. Caught a personality on this channel, right? Okay, here we go. This is WAGAKKI Band with Akatsukino. Is it Akatsukinoi? Seems to be written in the title. Maybe. Anyway, the song's got a name. Bit of volume. No face tattoos, which I believe you guys said that means this is a more recent one. God, I love her voice. I really do. Blue screen. With the sword again. This guy's all about his swords. Loving that offbeat snare. I'm below to talk during this melody because it's so beautiful, but this video kind of looks like the Japanese equivalent of Feel Good Inc. damn it. I've got a bit of a problem here. Okay, where do we start with this? I can't think of anything to say. So basically, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, to the point, the whole shtick is criticism here, and I can't think of anything I don't like about that. Visually, okay, alright, let's try to break this down. There's two things I can think of. Visually, there were some moments where the blue screen around the set looked a little bit cheap. You could kind of see that, like the first appearance behind the drummer, it was so clearly blue screen that maybe the angling was a little bit off, but otherwise the visuals were fantastic. I know it's common to have sound effects put into music videos, partly to stop you stealing the song, so the download will have sounds of dragons all over it, and maybe that was a bit annoying, having those sounds coming in, but fair enough. From the perspective of the song, okay, yeah, I could perhaps criticise the fact that it wasn't really a song arrangement so much as an intro and then an extended repeat of the same thing with musical development going throughout it, just like a big hook basically. But it was really good. It was really fucking good. The video, once you settle into it, is incredibly charming. It's directed well in that there's so much on screen. The fact the camera movements are quite slow and everything, but then again the song sort of churns along and marches quite slowly, very dramatically, so the slow camera movement was kind of nice. In some of the videos the cameras moved a bit quicker, and that can work, but with some of the more detailed ones, like there was one with a black background where it worked quite nicely because everything was quite clear, but with some of them we got the beautiful backgrounds and all the fantastic things happening with the band and all the interesting clothing. The quick cut videos, which are usually so cool in rock, don't really work for WAGAKKI Band all the time because it's just too much to take in a single shot. With this though, the slow direction, actually, usually not my thing, but it worked really nicely, added a lot of drama, atmosphere, scale. The CGI, basically most of it was actually done really nicely. I mean, considering, let's think about what the budgets actually are for sort of music videos, even in Japan, even with a band like this, there will be an element of budget, and so, that was still a very beautiful looking video. The visuals were great. The song was just fantastic. I mean, it really sort of just, one of those things, it takes you away very much in your head, you can imagine. I mean, obviously I'm doing this for reaction, so I'm conscious that I'm responding to you guys, but I can just imagine listening to that, you just get sucked into a different zone, even without the video. I mean, you kind of feel like you're in that place without seeing the video. Just in your head, you're going to go there just with the sound. Sound was brilliant. It didn't, from a arrangement perspective, it didn't push any new ground. Like I say, the arrangement from start to finish was simpler than normal. Sort of the way the instruments were stacked was kind of as they usually do, but it was a more slow song. The intro, like I said, the intro was fantastic, and when it came into that big chorus bit, which just then basically ran it through to the end, we have to be a little bit careful of criticising that too much, because obviously there's a lot of songs in. I know certain genres do this more than others. That is my leg, by the way. Just on a swivel chair. I know certain genres do this more than others, but we still can't be critical because it does happen in every genre. You do get some songs where just the same thing repeats over and over again. I'm going to say this for the Cardiacs fans, because I know there's some Cardiacs fans on this channel, which I think is fantastic. The song that they got really famous for, like the one hit they had because all their other material was so weird, Is This the Life? I keep thinking it's This Is the Life, but it's Is This the Life? The most famous rendition of that was the 7.5-minute version they did, the Astoria, and that song is basically the same four things over and over again, the same four chords, with some stuff changing. I know there's a couple of really short verses, but they're done after like a minute and a half, and the rest is just the same thing carries on. Sometimes that can work if it doesn't get repetitive. If you've got an interesting enough sound, if you built a basis that's interesting. Here's a more commonly accepted example, although I know this one builds up, but the famous song from soundtrack piece from 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later as well, that just sort of builds up around those same four chords repeating. It's a similar thing. You can sometimes do a song. There are certain genres which only just ever seem to have four chords repeating, or even less. And so it might be easy to say, well, this song isn't really a song, it's just a hook. But it developed. It stuck to a similar pattern after a while, but played that so beautifully. It wasn't tiresome. By the end, I mean, that was 3.5 minutes. I know that's not particularly long, but it felt like a minute and a half. By the end, I was just like, no, I want more. I want more. So it clearly, by repeating formula, is clearly not getting tiresome. I'll be honest with you. I've said before, I have to nitpick with their songs to find any criticisms. Some I've found a few genuine criticisms with, but none of them I would ever skip, I don't think, so far. I think this is now the 6th song, like I say, I've listened to by them. Would I say, this is an interesting thing, because I've said there's nothing to criticise about this. I've got less criticisms about this than any of their others. Would I say it's the best one? Maybe not, actually, because my voice went really high then. Maybe not, because there's certain other songs that just have so much more going on, like, arrangement changing, that they would be engaging, but different, horses for courses, different situations. So if I wanted an engaging song to really get into, those would be probably better, but this is probably the most atmospheric, just by the way it builds up that whole atmosphere, that feeling, that sound. So it's a different type of song, once again, with them, just by the fact they've written it in that style. But again, it shows that they're fantastic, that they have range when it comes to writing as well as arrangement. And, I know that's kind of the same thing, but you get the difference. Just fantastic. Brilliant. I can't really pick holes in it. All the holes I have picked, I would immediately take back if put under any pressure. Love it. Which, as someone who prides myself in having a channel where we don't kiss ass, that makes me really angry. So that's my problem with this song. It makes me angry about the fact that I can't be angry about it. Song. So until next time, when you want to see me be unpleasantly happy about something, from Japan, ciao.